news uncensored. You are now rocking with the best. Make sure that you follow us on social media. Also, share and hit the like button for the best sound in the industry. Go down in the description box and get you a pair of Beats headphones right now. And now for our feature presentation. Please hit the share button and like this video before we get into this topic, because we're going to do this the right way and how you're supposed to do it in media, So it's this story that came out today. I hit you up earlier about, shout out to Charlamagne and God, on the Breakfast Club doing their thing, over there on that platform. But these new allegations, the Sandman, you definitely have Charlamagne Tha God's book. You've been telling me a lot about it, and you look up to Charlamagne, you look up to him. I'm even gonna say in a sense, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Kicked down a lot of doors, but Star Chamber Shot 97. Now they call him, his new page is called the Star Report, actually brought, the alleged victim. And he talks about it in his book, if you go get Charlamagne Tha God's book, obviously. He talks about, this encounter that he had with this 15-year-old girl at the time. Now, the case, Charlamagne did plead down and got a lesser charge. But now this lady comes out now and is pretty much, saying that she wants to let the world know who Charlamagne Tha God really is after all these years. It happened in 2001, if I'm not mistaken. And Star Chamber brings her out right now.
Let's play what we got on the audio, man. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Make sure I hit the like button and share this video before we get into this audio. Now, here we go. This is a young lady, who came forward on the Star Report, to actually, tell her story after all these years. So let's hear her out.
Star, this is the Star Report. I had a guest tonight. Her name is Jessica, and she has a story to tell, along with the Sheriff's Department statements and court documents dating back to 2001. With respect to an alleged crime of rape with Charlamagne Tha God, a popular radio host by way of the Breakfast Club. Jessica claims that Charlamagne did indeed drug her and rape her. Let me also say that I personally have no first-hand knowledge of these allegations surrounding this matter, but I do have Jessica on the line and have court documents to substantiate these allegations. Good evening, Jessica. Welcome to the show. All right, so you're 32 years of age, you're a mother, you've got a career. And this is something that's been what? It's been weighing heavy on your heart over the years, or you feel that there's something that needs to be further discussed? What?
It's just something that I haven't quite been able to get over. I don't know if you ever get over anything like that, but as far as closure goes, I never really got that. After everything happened, I was 15 years old. My mom, she really didn't want me to, speak against him in court. I guess she felt like after all had taken place, that would have been too much for me at that time. So we kind of moved away to Virginia, and, that was it. There was never any closure. I don't believe that he ever went to jail. According to the paperwork, I think he just got probation. So he never really was held responsible for what he did. And then shortly after, I started seeing him on TV and hearing more about him, and that just brought up all of these, old wounds I had from the issue for the situation. So for me, it's just, I want people to know who he really is, for one, and for two, I just want closure in the whole situation. I mean, it's been over 15 years now, and I'm still dealing with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I go to counseling for it. At one point, I was on medication. It's something that is with me to this day. And I really just want to kind of put it behind me. And it's hard to do that when you see this person on TV. He's everywhere.
Right. Okay, so Charlamagne took a plea with regards to this case, and it's behind him. You spoke about Charlamagne being on top of you. Is that your official statement, that Charlamagne was on top of you, penetrating you?
Yeah.
Okay. And has he ever admitted any part of that process that he did engage in sexual activity with you, or did he flat out deny that?
From what I was told, he said that it was consensual.
Okay, so your mother did go to court.
Yes, she went.
Okay. And
she went, and my uncle went with her.
Okay, so you were a minor at the time, and you didn't feel it was necessary to go. And at the same time, this did not go to trial because he took the plea deal, yes?
Right, and it wasn't that I didn't feel it was necessary. I wanted to go, but my mother, she felt differently. She didn't want me there.
Right, okay. you make reference in your statement that Charlamagne, he made Malika a drink. Did he make a drink for you as well?
He made both of us a drink, yes.
And it's your claim that the drink made you dizzy and it made you limp, made you pass out. What?
Well, okay, so Malika, she was drinking before I started drinking. She probably had a cup. I was just about finishing my cup. Before I finished my cup, she ended up just throwing up. So I went and got some towels for her, tried to wipe her off, and she was just sitting there like she was out of it, and he kept trying to give her more drink. So I put my drink down. About maybe 10, 15 minutes after trying to help her and clean her up, I got up because I just wasn't feeling right. My head was just dizzy, and I just felt funny. I could see and I could hear, but I just didn't feel like myself.
Right.
So I got up, and when I got up, it's like I collapsed to the floor. Like I couldn't really move my legs or anything. It was weird.
Okay.
So I never felt anything like that before.
But at the same time, you were 15 years of age. You weren't supposed to be drinking. And I'm not saying that, you were wrong. Whoever was, in your presence, some type of guardian, they should not have been serving you alcohol.
Let me stop it, right there, because I wanted to, there are more parts to this, but so we have this lady who comes out. Let's just, pause it for a minute to get a recap. She say that pretty much that she wants to come out now and pretty much, let the world know who Charlamagne really is. Now she is claiming now that he pretty much, forced his way on and gave her some drinks, intoxicated her, and forced his way and penetrated her. And that, this is on record. I'm not going to comment yet. I just want to, put this on record, what we have right now. So right now she's coming out to try to paint him, pretty much, as I would say in my own words, as pretty much a monster. Now she says she's seen him on TV, and now it's making her, old wounds are now starting, to reappear. Like she's never got closure from that. So what do you think about that? Initially her coming out right now.
Okay, let's talk about her first. There's a lot of holes in her story, and that's just to be straight up objective. Mm-hmm. She said this happened in 2001, 2002. Breakfast Club didn't come out to 2010. So she ain't read. It was an 8-year gap before she even seen anything about Charlamagne Tha God. He was on Wendy Williams' Experiments, which we all know was a nationally syndicated radio show, was on in Philadelphia. That's how we got introduced to Charlamagne Tha God, as well as throughout the country. It was out in New York City. So Charlamagne Tha God was heard, but he wasn't seen. That could be just, coincidental. But she saw him getting money and things like that. What people really don't realize is the perception might give you one way. And we talked about perception in our pre-production meeting, but little do a lot of people know that brother wasn't getting any money while he was on Wendy Williams. He was not making any money. He had a family of his own. He was trying to raise. He was with his high school sweetheart, really trying to raise a family, doing this thing. He was in a different situation. You go back to the night in question, the one night she talked about, and how her mom didn't want her to go testify in court and things like that. What people also don't realize is Charlamagne Tha God at that time also had a criminal record. So if this was a situation where he was guilty in any right, what lawyer wouldn't go grab them blood alcohol levels of those babies, wouldn't go grab toxicology? I don't know if toxicology has any relevance to this, but blood alcohol levels, where's the DNA testing involved to have any kind of sperm or anything involved with Charlamagne linking to him to this? Where's the outstanding evidence that would paint or go and steer Charlamagne Tha God into being guilty? If there was something out there, wouldn't that want to be brought out?
I mean, if you say somebody penetrated you, and I mean, I'm not trying to act insensitive if this indeed was a victim, of, rape, because that's horrible if it indeed happened, whoever did it, in that, day. But it's just like when usually, he said he had a record. So if she's saying that he actually penetrated her, that means that it will be DNA, blood, and what they do is called a rape kit, which they would get, and they would match it up to whoever was in there, whoever penetrated her, and it'd be an easy case closed, even, finger, all types of things if it's a rape, a forcible rape. So, once again, not to be insensitive to victims, because this happens and it's a terrible thing that happens. But like you said, definitely a lot of holes in the story. And I definitely question, why now, that she does come out, but let me play this, a little bit more. And then we're actually going to hear what Charlamagne Tha God, actually said about this, because we're going to do this fair. So let me play this, right here.
Charlamagne reaches out to you after we do this interview, and he says, hey, I want to give you a settlement, and I want you to recant your story and to call Star a liar. Then what?
Listen, I don't want that man's money. I don't want nothing from him. I just want people to know who he really is. He's a liar. I have been dealing with this for over 15 years. My life has never been the same since that night. My relationships with my family and my friends have suffered because of it. Mentally, I suffer. Emotionally, I suffer. So I don't want nothing from him. I don't want to speak to him, and I don't want to seem angry, but there is still a part of me that's upset because he took something from me. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even like him like that. And when I first met him, he expressed that he liked me in that way. But I told him, no, we could just be friends. And that was that. Those were not the dynamics of our relationship. We were just friends.
Okay, so let's stop there. And for the rest of the audio, you can go to the Star Report. We will leave a link, to that full audio in the description box. You can listen to the full audio, in its entirety. So you have her, coming out at this point, now. Obviously, it's a big story. Everybody's talking about it. This brother is doing a lot of big things, at this point, and the timing, I question it. And we want to get to the vendetta, the supposed vendetta by Star in a minute, but do you have anything you want to add real quick before we actually play Charlamagne Tha God's response to this? Years back, you already dealt with this, but
I do. I think if I don't want to misquote the brother, but I believe in his book Black Privilege, he does address the situation and just kind of paint or just trying to give you the lesson learned kind of picture in the book. Just trying to tell you the hardships that he went through, and he talked about this. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he was in the party. He hosted the party. Really loved to go back down to South Carolina. He was working for Z93 at the time, which was a big radio station. He's starting to do his thing. He was really into giving back into where he was from. So he's trying to host events and things like that in his radio. With his radio personality and the platform that he had behind him, he got a lot of clout, got a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. So he hosted the event. Some guys at the event may have done some things or something, got caught up in a situation because his name was at the forefront, i.e. Corey Milliconda. He got put right into the main, okay, well, we're going to get him. And it wasn't really how it was painted up to be. Mm-hmm. So he took the lesser charge. He took what he had to do, but it really wasn't how it was. Charlamagne was the main guy in there. So Charlamagne was taking that heat at the time. Like I said, on top of the fact that he had a record, it was things that was already under him that would really make this look good if everything was put in the correct scenario, but I don't think that evidence showed that
in South Carolina, and not to interrupt you, good, if they had a chance to get a black man, if he penetrated a minor, if they had a chance to get him, if he's saying it's if she would have told the police that she got penetrated, he would have been in prison for that shit. Period. They ain't gonna let nobody go. So it just kind of shows they didn't have enough evidence to really do anything. But again, he had to step up and just take it because it was like,
he was in a situation. He had to eat that situation. He was up and coming. He's already been in the law. He did his bullshit. Go read Black Privilege. It's a real dope fucking book. Yes, like I said, it's real dope. He gets into that kind of shit, but he already knew what he could lose if he was in that situation, and he was getting too much of a buzz and already out of that stage in his life where he was letting anything fuck with that or get in the way of that. Like I said, I'm not saying that she was wrong. I'm not saying that something didn't happen in that young lady that night. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that Charlamagne, as far as evidence is concerned, paints the picture that it wasn't him. Right. So now it goes on to the angle of why. So was she contacting Star? Was Star contacting her? We all know the history behind Star and 105.1, and I'm not going to talk about the brand in general, but we all know him and DJ Envy had some real deep shit that happened. Yeah, he threatened, sexually assault his daughter and was arrested for it. Damn right. So it's a beef. It's a beef. It's always been a beef between the radio stations, but then he split from the radio station, came out with the Shot 97 and all that, and had the beef. Right. Charlamagne addressed him in the book. He talked about that, not in length, but he definitely addressed that situation. Right. And talked about what not to do. So there's always something, there's always a simmering rivalry going on. We all see what the situation with Star and where he was and where he is now. But let's hear what Charlamagne got this. Let's hear what he said though about this before we get too far off that joint. Yeah, let's definitely do that. Yeah. So Charlamagne sat down with DJ Academic. This was actually in 2013 to speak about, this rape allegation. So I want to play that real quick and then we'll get back into this.
either groupies or
I don't do that shit. I'm scared of that kind of shit. I done had a rape charge before.
Oh, for real?
Hell yeah, I'm scared of that kind of shit. I don't even play them.
You got like a charge? How you beat that?
Because I didn't do it. It was a criminal sexual conduct with a minor charge.
That mean you would have to like register for this.
Yeah, I was.
Right?
It was the year 2000, 2001. I think I was like 20. I was 20 years old. My cousin had just graduated from high school, and he had got a scholarship to Penn State University. And I had a party, and I had all of these chicks at a party. Like I was doing overnights I was working at Z93 then, so I had all these chicks there that I met through radio, and chicks that my dude had known. So I used to always see this chick with my dude. So I bought, I invited her to the party. So she was at the party and shit. She got drunk, high, whatever. Something happened in the room with a couple of my dudes. I'm asking them, did they mess with the chick, after the fact, after she pressed charges? And they was like, no. But they was like, yo, she's bugging. I remember the night of, they was like, yo, she's in here bugging out. She's kicking over the TV and she's trying to set shit on fire. I'm like, what the fuck? Because I had left. So the next morning, I'm hearing she said she got raped. She got raped. So I go to the hood to ask what happened. They like, yeah, my cousin who had got the scholarship, yeah, he's in jail now. What you mean he's in jail? He's in jail. They said he raped the girl. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I go down to the jailhouse, talk to the detective myself. No, they had no one for me. I just told the detective, like, hey, look, I take full responsibility for anything that happened in the house last night.
You gonna take the case?
No, but I told her, I said, as far as I know, because I asked around, did anybody fuck up? I'm like, yo, nobody got raped. Yada yada yada. They didn't even have my cousin in custody. My other cousins was fucking with me because they was mad they didn't get invited to the party. Hating ass motherfuckers. So my cousin wasn't even in custody. So I went down to the jailhouse for nothing. So I'm like, yo, I take full responsibility for everything. I bought the alcohol. They was like, well, you're not even of age to buy alcohol. And I'm like, well, how'd you get it? Well, I got a crackhead to get it for me. Whatever.
They went down there copping out pleas with
they had to do shit. Damn. So 2 weeks later, they come and arrest me for criminal sexual conduct with a minor. So I had to get blood and hair follicles.
Oh, for you going down there to initially explain it?
They ain't had nobody else they depended on. So being that I went down there and took full responsibility, well, lock him up.
Did it get through? You got indicted on it and everything, or?
Now I went to court. Went to court and they reduced the charges to like contributing to the delinquency of a minor because I had to give blood and all DNA samples, and it wasn't me. Whoever touched it wasn't me. So
you didn't get no jail time over that?
Nah, I got like probation, like 4 or 5 months probation or something like that. Man. Something like
that's so. I mean,
so that's the reason I don't play those games with females. I don't play games like that. Like if I'm kicking it with you, I'm kicking it with you. I'm not bringing no randoms over. Somebody I just met from the club. Some chick I just met. Like I go through a process. I talk on the phone with girls. I take them out with me a few times before I even try to get at them. Like I got to see where they head at. You know what I mean?
Oh, you taking chicks out on dates?
I mean, I wouldn't call them dates, but they come with me where I'm at. You know what I mean? If I'm at.
Let me stop here. I'm gonna be real brief. What I got to say. I'll let you go in. On this. Now, what we have now happening is, and especially in media, when the ignorant people, when they hear allegation, and the people put their videos up, and then they title it a certain way, and people just read the title and don't go into the content of the video. They think that when they say Charlamagne, accused of this, they think that he actually did it. You just heard the man say that they had nobody else depended on, so they took his hair follicle. They took anything that if he did rape her, remember, if he did it, he would have got charged with it. He would have got charged. He would have been in prison for it. They hit him with the lesser charge because he did, admit to buying, bringing the alcohol, the stuff they could have hit him with, and he got probation. Again, the victim, maybe something happened with somebody else in there. We don't know, but he didn't do it, obviously, according to the DNA.
As a teenager, he was hit with cocaine, marijuana possession twice, right?
Right.
And then he was arrested for a third time after witnessing or seeing a shooting. He wasn't involved with a shooting, but his boy scared somebody, let off a round on somebody. He was sitting in the back seat. He did 41 days in jail. Okay. He had a rap sheet. These aren't the type of brothers that get off if they did something.
Come on.
At all. So let's just negate
in
all
South
that
Carolina.
Bullshit. Let's negate all that
Come
bullshit.
on.
He didn't do shit. Okay. So then you ask the question, why the fuck is this coming out now? Star's a very intelligent dude. No one is negating that. So you mix
just obvious hatred toward the situation and toward the platform, that being 105.1 of Breakfast Club. You see the height and the ascension that is Charlamagne Tha God. Both of y'all being in a situation of you being higher than Charlamagne, him aspiring to get where you were at the time. Now him and you, just it is what it is, and him doing the special on HBO. He's changing the game when it comes to radio personality doing their thing. He's going to be sitting in the same regard as B. Williams, his idol growing up, or not growing up, but in the radio aspect of growing up. And he'll be sitting there neck and neck with competition with her now on the main stage. It's a real blessed situation to see. So you see all this mixed with it, and you see how, like you said, a day and age where all you have to have is a real nice headline, be something, and it's going to run and go crazy, which this story is starting to do. This is why we're addressing it now, to kind of hopefully shed some light on it, really objective to the fucking situation, because you heard her, you heard him. It's in his book. He tried to take the rap, just saying that it was my responsibility as far as the alcohol being there. And if any misconduct was done, I was the head of household.
There wasn't no rape.
He didn't do shit.
Right.
Nothing.
He never admitted to that.
But she was on there, and Star very, very just cynical, like painting it as a news broadcast, giving it to you and delivering it to you like you're listening to Tyrone Koppel on the 6 o'clock.
Kind of leading.
Right? Very leading.
Yeah.
I attribute it to the fact that maybe it's like lawyer-like, and you said, nah, you can't even do that in court.
There'll be an objection when you actually lead. They say you're leading the witness. The example you gave, you ask somebody, you say, any example, did this person, touch you? You would say what happened, as opposed to did they touch you? You know what I mean? Did they touch you here or touch you there?
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
So at this time he drugged you, and you're saying he penetrated. That, what do you mean? Like, hold on, you're painting a narrative right now. And you're doing it very cynical, very smart, very clean. So to the ignorant average motherfucker listener that have no idea of the story, who aren't going to do research on what Charlamagne had to say about it, someone that doesn't like him a little bit for whatever reason, because he's too brash, too honest, because they don't like what the fuck he said today or tomorrow, they're going to run with that shit. And we seen this starting to brew up and happen. We seen the piles on YouTube starting to go at Charlamagne doing this and doing
suckers,
that.
Man.
So
Fake
before
suckers.
we really came in on this, because you told me yesterday, and I said, I'm not touching this shit. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a situation where this is true. I don't know if there's something that's going in, and I don't want to touch it until we know everything. And now that the picture is painted, it's clear to see what's going on. Because truth be told, if this was something that came out and this was real and this had some relevance to it in 2018, if he did this, we'd be having a whole nother light to it, because it's objectivity first here. It's objective. You got to be objective. You got to be objective, and we're both fans, and we both respect what the brother's doing. But if he's out here doing wrong, we're going to also highlight that as well.
Facts.
And talk about that as well, because we're not going to let a motherfucking dude run around here and take our 15-year-old females, our 15-year-old girls out here, and take advantage of them and sit here and highlight that bullshit.
Right. And then put that on record. We do not agree with that. We're just looking at, the facts on the table and what we heard, and the evidence that came out of the court, and coming to a conclusion like you should. So, you out there, the listener, you guys be smart. And I know we got, our people rock out with us. So, we will get people that's going to go against us, but it is what it is. But, just know that we do not, endorse that type of behavior, but we're going to keep it objective.